back to Dial Twang. I'm Dave. So we've got kind of a more of a song sounding backing track today, right? I kind of let myself go on this one and played longer stretches. You know, it's still looped, but it's not looped like in 4 bars or 8. It's, you know, I played the piano over long stretches and the rhythm guitar and stuff. So kind of like you're playing along with the song more. I just want to show you a couple. I'm going to limit this to a couple of things, but they're they're things that can be used in many, many different ways. So we're going to jump right in here. Now the progression on this is just C, G, D, and it holds that D. Okay. Now some of these moves have, you know, double stop bends and stuff. They're based on that. So, you know, if you're not used to that, be patient and do a little bit of practicing on this and do something else and come back to it later. And, you know, don't, sometimes when you're doing something really different like this that involves, you know, bending and holding multiple fingers down and stuff, it can really, you know, be hard on you at first. So, but I want, you know, practice it enough to where you kind of know the skill, but be patient about it, you know, coming together physically for you. So let me show you a couple things here, and then we'll stop it and get right into this. Now you might have to fish around for where you are. Remember, you hold that D. So here's C. Okay, so one of the first things you can do is take these bar chords, these ones that are rooted on the 5th. So for the C and the D, and we're using a lot of D major pentatonic type stuff and D mixolydian. So we're really in C. It's like this is like a 4-1-5 thing in C, or I'm sorry, in a G, 4-1-5. Don't worry about that so much. D mixolydian is kind of the go-to scale. Most of the stuff I'm showing you here is more of things that you can do for each chord, because they're each major, right? Not a lot of theory to consider on this one, really. Just like triad stuff mostly. So let's look at this. If that's our C, get in that position where you're just playing those 3 strings, right? And that's going to put you in the right place to do these bends. Now, as far as the bends go and what notes they are, think about this and use your ear as well as just, you know, memorizing this visually, because this is important and useful in many different ways as far as understanding how to use triads in your soloing. So if this is a C, let's go to this form of C. Okay, just that root 6 bar chord on the 8th fret. We take those 3. That little triad, right? Use your ear. Okay, and so if we want to get to this note, the 3rd there, root 3rd, root 3rd, 5th. Well, but go down to with your ring finger and bend that to where that reaches that note. Then your pinky up here on the 8th, which is the 5th. So you end up with that 3rd and 5th. But that one comes from the bend from below it, right? If you come down to here, you got that minor third there for a second, didn't I? So, and your ear catches that. Oh, that wasn't the right note. Good. Just keep working that out. But that's the main sound you want there is that now you can do them together. Where you end up with that. Or you can separate them. All right. And if you're really ambitious, after a while, you can flatten that pinky out and get that higher octave of the root. Okay. And, you can also do this without adding the second note. Right. So separate all this stuff out. Do all that exploration on your own. These aren't licks that, you got to do exactly what I'm doing in this order all the time, right? They're skills that you can use to do all kinds of things. So, but that's the main gist of that one, right? And then you can do that on any of these major chords. So that's for C. So for G, sorry, I keep hitting my mic with my hat here. Kind of hard to do it down here, isn't it? You can do it, but you have to really hit that, squeeze that hard. Man, that's hard for me to do. So, up here, a little easier. And then your D. So you can do them together, separately, in different orders. So that's what I mean. Work on these skills, you're learning 50 different licks, not 3, right? That's how this really pays off. So spend some time on this. But like I said, take breaks. Don't try to do all this in one night. You'll be hamburger and you won't be happy. So now let's turn this on and just kind of move around to the different chords with that kind of idea. Okay. Now this track is a little bit more like a song, right? So when you put that on there, you're not waiting to just, I'm just going to do, this exact thing and, let yourself go. But, practice these off to the side because moving them around to all 3 different chords at first might be pretty challenging. Then the only other thing I'm going to show you here is really kind of a way to play the same sounds, but using these 2 strings. Okay, so like you run into a lot on your neck, the nature of the guitar in standard tuning is, the difference between the intervals of these 2 strings and the intervals of all other adjacent pairs of strings, right? So to get that same sound, it's not going to be the identical visual shape, right? So let's take the C. Now remember how we got there? We started with, we went for that third, and then we want to bend up to the third. So we need a higher third. So you just got to look around for those. So the note's E. So, sometimes you're like, well, I don't know if I want to, move around that much. I got to move all the way up here to do this one. Don't worry. You'll after a while you connect this stuff in more sensible ways and what's in the neighborhood. But at first, it's good to try to really visualize and explore the whole neck. So if I want to bend up to that E, all right, see that? Yeah, don't worry if you get 100% of this all at once. So I'm bending up and then hitting the high E on the same fret. You got to kind of tuck your finger under there. All right. Now, you can kind of move around and do those if you get that, to where you can really seek them out. That didn't sound bad, but it was a different one, right? So. Now, that's pretty much what we're going to cover, but let me just show you something, kind of a preview, a little bit next level look into this. What I just showed you, if you move that stuff around and really get into it, you're going to find that it is in the neighborhood if you take the two different string groupings in each position. And here's what I mean by that. Don't try to memorize all this, but you'll just find that, wait, when I do the G, using the two high strings, it's right by that D. Okay, so now what seems like it's linear, like, oh, when you're playing these solos, it's just like this lines of tab after lines after. Not really. I mean, it can be if you tediously write all that out, right? But what it usually amounts to is it's kind of chunking things that just happen to be in the neighborhood, right? That's what's happening when you're really playing and improvising. So that's a little bit more of a kind of abstract comment there about it. But when you see those connections, when you see that oh, wait a second, I'm practicing right now I'm doing my ones on the high strings. Here you can hear the progression without hearing the chords. But then, like, don't forget, like, oh, that D. When I did that G on those two strings, my next chord's D. And I'm already right there. I'm in that position. Just switch to that different string grouping. Okay? Be patient. This stuff's difficult physically. Okay? But man, is it going to pay off? Because as you just saw, you learn these basically two moves and how to use them in different places. And after a while, you start connecting that, and you've got, some really smooth. sweaty and sloppy there. It's just time to stop. Um, so just wanted to give you some kind of looks ahead there towards the end. Back the first couple, times around in this video where it really showed you the mechanics of it. Focus on that. Get used to moving those around for different chords. It's just going to open everything up for you. All right? Let me know how it goes. Take it easy.